Also, I'm joined by a social worker, Madam Catherine Muwanguzi. Welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. So today, let's have this conversation. Shakira, thank you so much for even, braving to make it to the show and just now being an advocate for other young girls who are in this. We'd like to understand, get into your story. When did it all start?
It started, it was 2015. By then I was in senior 3. Mm-hmm. So I was living with my stepmother, but she was very tough with me. Mm-hmm. So I dropped out of school when I was pregnant. After I went to look for my mother. I found her. She was sad looking at me pregnant. Then, guys, he was denying it's not mine. So my mother just went on with me helping me. Mm-hmm. And then after, when the child was 9 months, then I took her to the parents of the father. Mm-hmm. So that's when it started. I started sex work, but it's not just because I liked, because I had to do it in order to move on with life, because I had nothing to do. I had no papers. I can't go back home to my father, so that's what I had to do. Yeah.
Did the father of the baby take up the baby?
Yeah.
And the baby is safe and sound right now?
No, she's not alive now.
Sorry. Would you want to tell us what exactly happened
to her? Mm-hmm. She died of measles. I think it was last year in December she died, and we buried her.
Sorry. So from 2015 to this point, how has life been in this particular trade, so to speak? How was your entrance into it? Is it just easy, or what's the system of being enrolled into that? Where did you start?
By then, I was in Gayaza by then. So I went to, Busunju. Mm-hmm. Busunju there. Mm-hmm. I started working as a sex worker, as well as working in a bar. That's when it started. And life wasn't good for sure.
Mm-hmm. Is it possible for you to paint a picture for us how a day is like in that particular trade, when you started out working in the bar, and then on this other side you're also doing this particular trade? Did you at some point stop working at the bar and just put more time in this other kind of trade, or how was it? Just paint a picture for us from that time to now, when now you are under rehabilitation.
Okay, I worked in the bar for 3 months. Then I left Busonju. I came to Kalere. I had some little money to rent a house, so I started moving to bars, as concentrating on what I call my work. Mm-hmm. That's what it is even up to now. But I'm trying to move into it. Yeah.
And right now you're actually under rehabilitation. Congratulations for that. But just for maybe another young girl watching us today, maybe who is in the same type of trade, just get us to understand why you have chosen to deliberately work towards moving out of that kind of trade. What is pushing you out of it?
What is pushing me out is that not every day that you go, because for me, I'm not standing on streets. I just go in the bar. I use my transport, like today I'm going to this place, far places mostly. Like I buy a drink, someone comes to you, you say I'm working sex, I'm a sex worker. How much? But some men are not good in paying. Someone cannot pay you that money, some people, and you may go and not get anyone. So, and it's not the work I want to do, and it's not the future I want. I want to be someone even. Yeah.
So the issue is it's totally unstable.
Yeah.
At times there's business, at times there's no business.
You use your transport, you go, you don't get any customer, you have to go back home, you have to pay rent, everything you have to do it, yet you have used your money. Some men, they are not paying, someone is telling you, I'm giving you this money, and you have to do it. That is it.
Okay. Before I move to Madam Catherine, I don't know how comfortable you are answering this, but since you're saying that business at times is not so good, how are your charges? What are the rates?
My charges, someone may come, like I want short or long. Short, I start with 10K and above. Long, 50 and above. Yeah.
Okay.
It depends on someone, on how you've seen the client. Yeah.
Okay. All right, and we'll get into the risks involved as well, and just tapping into your experience. But let me bring you in, Madam Catherine. You are also a hero today, as much as Shakira is our hero. You work with these girls who especially want to rehabilitate. What are some of the stories you hear, and how bad is the situation?
Yeah, of course. I can say in Uganda, apparently, so many girls are engaging in transactional sex. UDEL has been conducting a lot of research, because it's one of our core areas, protecting children. And from the recent studies, you find that in 4 girls, at least one has been exploited. The situation is quite big, according to the Ministry of Gender, the recent VAC study. And you find that the population of Uganda is composed of mostly youth, which takes about 8 million youth, and 57% are under the ages of 18.
Right.
So the situation is quite big, and the stories of the girls are quite huge, because it's quite a terrifying situation. And according to the recent study by UDEL, the findings are showing that most of the girls that have gone through domestic work, and we find that almost in most of the households in Uganda, especially in the urban settings, there are so many girls that are in domestic work, and most of them transit from domestic work to commercial sex or to transactional sex, I can say.
What's the linkage in between these two trades?
Of course, you find that most of the girls that have been in domestic work have gone through situations of torture, of violence, of abuse, of hopelessness, and again, where there is a history of abuse, there is trauma, and as a result of trauma, these girls become resilient to the violence and to the abuse, and at the end of the day, it becomes so easy to build you into tears. Basically, that's basically the relationship. So that's why I'm saying that the situation is quite big, because, like I've said, there is a linkage between the two, and so many girls are out there, very young, because they find it as the only solution, the only alternative, as she has said.
Right.
Yes.
Right. So, how you operate? Are your doors open for these girls, or you go reach out to them?
Yeah, of course, as our organization, we reach out to them.
Okay.
Apparently, we are working in 7 districts of Uganda, where we are working with these girls. Almost on a daily basis, we reach out to over 1,000 girls that we encounter with, through our partners and our donors that support us to reach out to the girls. And we've been reaching out to them through different activities and through different approaches that we use, because for us, we believe we use the strength-based approaches. We think that these girls, despite the fact that they have gone through trauma, despite the fact they have gone through pain, everybody has rejected them, everybody has thrown them out. For us, we believe they still have a strength in them that we can build on to see that they get better, to see that they can live a decent livelihood.
Right.
Yeah.
And when we're having this conversation, it all boils down to livelihood.
Yes.
Having a source of income, the rates of unemployment. Like she's saying, she didn't have the papers, but she needed to live and afford life. So once you start out in the process of rehabilitation, is there an empowerment, an economic empowerment or financial empowerment aspects to it as well?
Yes, of course, you cannot do rehabilitation. As you do one of the approaches, we use different approaches. We don't use one approach, because we believe that the main reason as to why girls end up in tears is because of income, because of a source of livelihood. So we have a different package of livelihood that we give. Skills that we give to these young girls that can help them to have a decent life.
Are you in a position to break that down for us?
Yes, UDEL provides vocational skills training. Wide range. We don't give one skill. We give wide range of skills, and we always encourage them to do multi-skilling, not only one skill, because we believe that one skill for this girl cannot help her get enough income. So we encourage them to do multi-skilling with soft skills of baking, of tailoring. If a girl learns tailoring and hairdressing, at least they have to learn another soft skill of beading, another soft skill of making soap, so that if they cannot get money from tailoring, they can be able to get money from this little baking. In addition to vocational skills, actually we operate safe spaces for young people in all those districts that we are operating in, and we have a major rehabilitation center in Wakiso where we take girls below 15 years, between 13 to 17 years. We also do financial literacy, where we use the Street Business Toolkit. Like I told you, we believe in the strength of these girls. We believe they have a strength, so we just add on. We build on their strength, and we train them in business skills, in how to do bookkeeping, how to do saving, how to do budgeting, how to draw business plans. And after that, we take them through coaching and mentorship. We give them startup kits after the training. We don't just leave them, because there are some skills where they can even sit at home and earn an income. For example, hairdressing. If they can't get a salon and they have a dryer at home, they can be able to reach out to their neighbors and
so you're actually facilitating the startup sort of capital.
Exactly.
Brilliant.
We also do social enterprises where we can put them in a group and then provide certain capital so that they can operate that enterprise and generate income, as we supervise and follow up to see that they can benefit and it can sustain their living. We place them, after training, we place them for internship to certain private enterprises and business people, where they can be able to earn income. Actually, many of our young people, all our girls that have been in rehabilitation, have gotten jobs in different organizations and different companies, like hotels, like those designing companies, like big salons. They're there and they're operating because of that package of internship placement.
So you just don't skill them, but you skill them and empower them. If you want to get into the job market, we'll help you get there. If you want to start your own business, we'll help you start with the startup capital. Okay. Shakira, just let us in on this one. What have you always wanted to be in life? Now that you're through the program, what's your focus on?
At Udel or in my life?
In your life, what do you want to become? What have you always been passionate about?
For me, I want to have a business of my own, working for myself, paying myself, and build my own houses for rent, something, and bear my children. Like, no man can say like that child is not mine. I go on struggling with a man to take care of the child. That's what I want to, and that's my goal.
Okay. So you want to start up a small business that will help us help you get into real estate. Okay. What is this small business? If today you're told, okay, fine, there's this money that you will give you, what business would you start?
Right now.
Is it hair? Is it a boutique? What would you focus on as a starter?
As a shop. A shop, but now I'm still learning. Dressing, bakery, and so many.
Okay.
So
all right, Catherine, just let us in on this one. We know when it comes to matters with sexual and reproductive health information in that regard, it's not so much out there. The girls who are in this particular trade don't know so much about it, and that's why most of them actually end up at the risk of getting infectious diseases like HIV and AIDS, STIs. Do you also focus on that? Do you only focus on them that have gotten to the stage whereby they're tired and they want to be rehabilitated, or you also focus on them that still believe they want to continue in the trade?
Yeah, of course, the process, change is a process. And when you look at the theories of change, it takes time. So, and when you want to create change, you don't focus on one area of a person. Like I told you, one of the things we use strength-based approaches, but we also use the systems theory, the system around this person. Cognitive behavior therapies and also motivation therapies, where we ensure that we don't point on one aspect of livelihood, because even if this young girl is given a livelihood, when their health is not good, they will not bring results.
Right.
So we provide a wide range of activities. We conduct HIV counseling and testing for them. We do referrals, and also so that they can get treatment for STDs and STIs. And we work with other partners like the hospitals, the health centers. We also do behavior change sessions with them that can help them to change their behavior, because like I said, change is not a one-day process that they wake up one day and they stop.
Right.
Like she has said, she's in rehabilitation, but at the end of that day, you see, it takes time. That's why our approaches are quite unique. We can't get her from the community and then put her in one place, like put her in a rehab, like total rehab, like confine her, that we are changing. No, that's not how we change, because there are environmental factors. As she's in the environment and learning the skills and going through our processes of rehab, she will be able to change slowly by slowly, and also adjust to a environmental push and pull factors in the community.
So this type of rehab is totally different. You don't, house them in one place.
No.
Okay. They continue with their normal lives, but still come for the programs.
Exactly.
Okay.
But for us, we know that within a period of 9 to 6 months, this young girl can be able to make their own decisions.
Brilliant.
So we train them into becoming peer leaders, leadership skills. We train them into life skills of decision making, how they can make decisions, self-esteem, self-confidence, so that they can be able to decide and to make decisions.
Okay.
Because now when you put them in a rehab and you confine them, how can they learn how to make their decisions? It will be theory.
Right.
We want the practical bit of it where she can say, now, okay, if I was using 3 partners, I can use 2 partners in a day, and if somebody cannot use a condom, then I cannot go out with that person.
Right.
Yes.
Right. And you've mentioned a very critical aspect. Shakira, just let us in on this one. Just point to us some of the risks that you face on a day-to-day basis in this particular trade, especially with your customers.
Some of the customers don't want to wear condoms. So someone can say, no, let's not use a condom. But as now, I can say no, because I know what it is. It means not to use a condom after coming to your deal. Then some of them can say, okay, let's go and do it. After doing it, I can say, oh, I don't have that money you've told me. I have this. Even someone can go as going to the shortcut and run away. Many risks. I can't even define.
And when it comes to violence, is there violence in that space? Do these men at some point become violent and hit you?
No.
Okay.
I've never got that.
All right. Okay. But as you have been here in 2 years, 2 years, and right now you want change so bad. Is it just because of the income, or you really yearn to have a totally different life from deep within your heart? Because I know you're still in the process of rehabilitation.
Yeah, I want to be someone, because I don't like to call me that thing that you are a prostitute. Even me, I can be ashamed of myself hearing that I'm it. So I don't want to be it, but it's who I am. But I'm trying to move out of it to be someone.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And as we come to a close, that is your camera. You now are an advocate for other young girls who are in this particular trade. What would you tell them, ideally, just to convince them to think maybe twice, or to think of a totally different option than the trade they're in right now? That is your camera 1.
Okay. Girls out there, as sex workers, the thing we do is not for so long that you will grow old, and you may reach at a certain time when you're not still doing it, when you fed up, you can't do it. So I encourage them to go to your deal and find and do skills like what I do, in order to move on with the life, and to have respect also, because we people are not respected in society. Yeah.
Wow, that is powerful. Thank you so much. What are you training in what have you gone through right now so far in terms of skilling? Is it hair? Is it bakery? What have you gotten your hands into?
Hairdressing, bakery, beading, and what?
All right.
and catering.
Yeah, brilliant. And of all those, which ones do you enjoy doing the most? Hairdressing. I could easily guess it because your hair looks so good. So Catherine, as you come to a close, your last remarks, especially not just to them that are in that trade, but also to the citizens of Uganda, how can we maybe make an impact just to change the space?
What I would say is one thing we have to understand is these girls, they are not into it because they want. So they really need the citizens of Uganda to understand them, to support them, and if possible, to allow them also fulfill their life dreams and their potentials. And also the advocates there and the government to see that we fight through the policies that we have to strengthen more policies, to see that really our girls are helped, because TS is just a symptom of abuse. There is something behind, and because it just comes out because these girls have been abused.
Right.
So if the government comes out strongly to fight the abuse of children, I think this nation will be a little bit rougher.
Right.
And also, like we have said, skilling is one of the most important things, because it gives someone an alternative. Because if they don't have alternatives,
they'll still fall back
Exactly.
to the same vice.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for coming in studios. Catherine Mwanguzi, social worker at UDEL, and also the beautiful Shakira. Thank you so much for coming in studios. Thank you so much for being an advocate and a voice to the other young girls who are in this trade. That has been it for Solution segment. Keep your views coming. The hashtag is Morning at NTV. We still continues. So up next is Take Note with Flavia Tumusime. Don't go away.
Coming soon on NTV.
When I was your age, I always sat with my parents and we would eat, drink, laugh, and talk about the good things that God has done for us as a family unit.
Timothy, I entered the bathroom first, so either go down or I don't know, wait. The boys in my class, they make fun of me just because I'm flat-chested.
Well, you're not flat-chested. Did you want watermelons on your chest? I need to know where you put her.
This is where I put her.
I need to know you.
I can't imagine leaving my job for anything. My career comes first.
Why is it that the men get to do all the speaking up they want?
Honey, you are hanging with the wrong men.
Show me your ring.